Hey everybody, welcome to this week's energy update from Chrissy Key Rollins. And today's update, I have a big message on my heart to share along with today's update. And that is why it is more important than ever. I'm already getting chills. I'm already getting chills just knowing what I'm going to talk about today. Why it is more important than ever to tend to your emotional and your mental well-being, your internal balance, why it is more important now than ever to give this attention. Now, if you've been following the weekly updates or if you've just been a human experiencing life on planet Earth as of recently, you know that we are amidst Virgo season, which is all about decluttering, reorganizing, clearing the path, clearing, cleansing, getting rid of, and getting yourself into a deeper level of integrity as you express your truth more fully and completely and effectively outwardly into the world. Now, while that sounds very like a good thing, and it does not come without its challenges. And I spoke last week about those hurricanes, those storms that begin to brew from within us and how they start to spread out and wreak havoc and cause damage outwardly into the world. Well, as we're going through the storms, that is the moment, that is the time in which you put your skill set to work. It is great to know how to shift yourself whenever you're just dealing with the regular day-to-day. But when life throws you a hurricane, when life is pressing for your evolution, as it is for many of us light workers, many of us path walkers, many of us seekers that are out there doing our thing in the world, it is calling for us to live more truthfully, more fully, and more openly expressed out into this world. And what we're doing is that we're butting up against years, decades, centuries of the opposite, of keeping ourselves small, of ducking and hiding, of not rocking the boat, of not trying to be a threat to power, and to be able to preserve ourselves and to save ourselves. And this is deeply rooted and ingrained, and as deeply rooted as and ingrained it is in you, as life presents you the opportunity to clear this out, it's going to be pulling from deep down inside of you so that you can anchor more into who you are, be more truthful to your own experience and in the way that you experience the world around you. So for us light workers, for us healers, for those of us that are in the energetic trenches day in and day out, we are not immune to this. Just because we're aware of the process doesn't mean that we get to skip it or bypass it. It just means that we're going to get hit as equally awesome as you are, as chaotic as your life will become. So the greatness that you hold within, what it is trying to come out and be expressed into the world, it's like blocked by like these rocks and these boulders, these energetic unseen things. And these things get shook up, and they start to come to surface. So what does that look like? It looks like going through past or seemingly similar situations again, so that you can meet yourself. When this chaos comes up, the only way to clear, the only way to cleanse, the only way that you know what it is that you need to let go of is by life to get disruptive. When life gets disruptive, you have to take a step back. You're like, whoa, what am I doing here? It wakes you up. It wakes you up. It stirs you up. But you do not know that it's there sleeping dormant until it gets shook and woke up. So in order to clear it, we have to know that it's there. And how do we know it's there? Life does its thing to agitate us in the perfect way for us to trigger our responses, our reactions, and our default nature. What comes up in your thought process? What comes up in your actions? How aligned, how true do you stay to you when the going gets rough? Or do you abandon yourself? Do you go back into hiding? Do you perpetuate your own cycles and point outwardly saying, but it was the storm outside. It was the storm's fault. Or are you going to take ownership and say, you know what, this storm's come around before. It's come around again and again and again. And I'm starting to learn the pattern and the rhythm of this storm. And I'm starting to see how I can take some proactive measures so that the damage isn't so much. Or I can relax into it more because I know that this too shall pass, and that the real gift is how am I being? Who am I being amongst the chaos, amongst the storm? It's easy to be bright and enlightened and positive and happy when everything's going well. But what is being asked of me, what is being asked of you, what is being asked of those that are called to this conversation is that we have to be fortified. We have to have an unshakable foundation beneath us, because as strong as everybody's feeling it, we're going to feel it more, because our way is asking to be cleared for ourselves and for the work that we're doing outwardly in the world. And how else will you know to take people through the process? I wouldn't even have this conversation to bring to you if it wasn't for the chaos that has disrupted in my own life, what has broken within me to let something else come to light that I could not see when I was so certain that the problem was from outside of me. So the reason we go through this is to help to guide the way for other people. And when we can understand this intensity, while it feels so personal, because it is so personal, baby, it's going to hit you the way that you need it to hit you, because this is about the way that you are seeing yourself, the way that you are seeing the world around you. And it's all about you and how you're responding, and all the filters, all the ways that you're blocking yourself from receiving, stopping yourself from seeing how this chaos, this turmoil, this injustice is happening to bring to surface exactly the narrative that you play within yourself as you go through them, so you can start to learn yourself, and you can start to unlearn anything that is unlike you, and you can get back connected to your conscious beliefs, get back connected to that which you say and believe and talk about and preach and walk and tell everybody about that you believe. If you abandon what you believe and you fall back into, here we go again, I thought that I was there already, and we go back into that story, that's the story, that's the thing, that's the reason why all of this is happening. Hey, whoever just joined live, thank you for being here. Feel free to chat in. It's happening for your undoing, but undoing of the ways that you are being that are not serving you. And when you can learn this rhythm, when you can learn this process, and when you can learn that some of us are going to be hit harder, only to show us we are more equipped than what we realize, then it's in those moments that you can start to realize, am I going through this thing right now? Or am I going through it in my mind, in my thought process, in my internal self? Am I carrying the storm with me everywhere that I'm going for days before it hits, for days after it leaves? Or am I being present right here in the now, maximizing this moment, finding out what's happening in this moment, and using right now as an opportunity to remind myself that I'm fully equipped, fully prepared, fully backed by the universe as I continue to step forward. Now, if you haven't gone through chaos and thinking that internally, I highly invite you to do it. I invite you to do it. It's my personal goal. It's what I'm striving for. And whenever I can't do that, I look to see why. What is it that's stopping me? Not necessarily externally, or perhaps I look externally, but then it always tricks back in to what is happening internally. And if you just go with it and you succumb to it and you pick right back up those old stories, those old habits, those old reactions, there's all us versus them way of being, and you overlook the opportunity that's being handed right to you, not to necessarily cut that toxic person out of your life, but to cut out the toxic thinking that you carry around with you about that situation, even when it's not happening right there in front of you. It is so important that we learn how to process the emotions that we're feeling, that we have a way to move this energy, because I felt it. Last week, I sent out an SOS text to my safety line, but that was the start of my healing process. That was the start of the shift, because I knew what to do. I knew what I was feeling. I knew that there was a way out. I didn't consciously know it to the same way that I'm talking to you right now, but something nudged me. Something said, I believe something different, and I have hope that there can be something different. So I'm going to start having this conversation out loud in a safe place and see where it leads me. And being able to move that energy, being able to process, being able to make sense of seemingly senseless situations has been literally my saving grace. And it's why I have these conversations on the regular with y'all. It's why I do the work that I do one-on-one and with the groups and within the community. I know the overwhelm. I know the angst of it. I know how intense it is. I know how it can take you over. I know how it can have you forget who you are and what it is that you believe. But I encourage you to hold on in those moments because they will pass. This is a process. And when you can understand that process, when you can surrender into it, when you can lean into it, when you can learn to heal in a way that is more gentle, there's just another way. If you'd like guidance on that way, reach out to me. I'm happy to be a resource for you, get you pointed in a different direction, or utilize support that I can offer. And regardless, just know that it is so important right now. Invest in your mental wellness. Pay attention to what lets you thrive internally. Because when you're thriving internally, you'll have a thriving experience externally. And it's inevitable that these waves are going to come, these hurricanes are going to come, these storms are going to come through. They're going to challenge you, and they're going to leave a lot of wreckage behind for you to sort through, for you to clarify. But just know or consider that it's all happening for a reason, for your cleansing, for your purification. And let's see what message the mermaids have today. You know, sometimes I feel these cards and I think they're going to fall in a certain way, and then they surprise me. And this is one of those days. So the card that came through is card number 37, Visions. If you're part of my conscious success community, you're probably getting pretty familiar with this card. She likes to come and play a lot in that community. This one says psychic images, clairvoyance, seeing, out-of-body travel. Now, some of those concepts might be a little bit foreign to you. They might seem a little woo-woo, and that's okay, because what we're talking about is our ability to have our own internal intuition guide us. That's what this is talking about. Those visions that run through your mind when that storm is happening, that is a clue. It is a key. It is telling you what narrative, what storyline you have running underneath the current of your life. And if you're facing new situations, replaying an old story and wondering why this current day isn't changing, look to what visions, what images, what ability do you have to see what is possible for you. And we can use this to see what is possible for us in an expansive way. Hello, my beloved Lisa. So glad that you're here. Or we can use these images to fabricate stories that are not true, that have not happened in the past, will not happen in the future, but we live as if they are current day reality. So look to the visions that come to you. Look to stepping outside. This idea of out-of-body travel, you know, it sounds really woo-woo, but what I'm talking about is step outside of yourself. Be the ultimate observer of yourself. Be out of your body and witness what is happening. See what opportunities are presented to the character that you just stepped out of instead of taking it all so personal. And look to see what storylines, what visions, what communications is happening internally, because it's showing you what storyline is running your life. Great insights, great opportunity to clear the path. Join me over in the Conscious Success community. I'm going to do a 3-card spread over there. I'm going to post it after I get back from Purple, so give me a moment. But hop over there and check it out and let me know your thoughts. Have you been going through this hurricane? Can you feel the urgency, the necessity to tend to your emotional and mental wellness? I'm telling you, I lost a great one. A great one. A light that shines so bright in this world that you would never think that she has a dark moment. We all have dark moments. And we're being taken out one by one unless we anchor into this information and we really fortify ourselves and understand what is happening, so it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. You don't have to feel like you're alone, and you don't have to get so completely disconnected. Now is the time. All right. I love y'all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And feel free to share this with others. If you're catching this on YouTube, or if you're catching it on Facebook, hop over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, and you'll be able to catch these every week. All right. Love y'all. Bye.